What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you again with the Flash episode 6. With the Flash episode 6 called Shade. Y'all know what the episode's called. I don't know why I'm repeating that. But I'm coming to you today with my top 3 questions from this episode. So let's start with my question number 1. So we saw at the end of the episode when Savitar was zipping through everybody in Dr. Alchemy's little lair and killing, all the cops and stuff. And then he gets to Barry and he's holding him up. And then Joe is looking at Barry being held up, choked out. And he isn't able to see who's choking Barry. Like, Barry's able to see him, but we see Joe look and there's nobody there. So my question is, why can't anybody see Savitar? Is it because he's just that fast and I don't know, his molecule, his body are moving that fast that regular human eyes can't process them? And Barry, since he has super speed, he's the only person that could see him because he's able to, I don't know, see things quickly. I don't know, but that was one of the main things I noticed while watching that scene, that when Joe looked at Barry being held up to the ceiling, he couldn't see what was holding him up to the ceiling. So I wonder if that's going to be fixed, or is Barry still going to be the only person, or other speedsters, not just Barry, but only speedsters are going to be the only people that could see Savitar, the god of speed? Is it because he's the god of speed that only other speedsters could see him? Like, I don't know. Just so many questions about this Savitar character. And also, what do you guys think about his look? His look is a little different from what I saw in the comic books. In the comic books, he looked more like an 80s type villain, but this version of Savitar looked more like a transformer, which I think is a scarier look, right? I mean, to me, Savitar is definitely the scariest looking villain in The Flash since Zoom. I think what made them scary, what made Zoom scary was definitely that voice. Even though Dr. Alchemy, who's voiced by Jigsaw, I forgot the real actor's name. I think it's like Tobin Bell or something. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. But his voice is scary, but not as scary as Savitar's look. But I'm glad they went with a scarier looking Savitar and they didn't go the cheesy route like in the comic books. But moving on to my question number 2. So what's making Caitlin turn into the evil Killer Frost? Is it her frosty powers that are turning her to the dark side? Is it just the fact that she's having these powers that are making her evil? Or is it just all that she's experienced, which has been dormant previously in the past, is finally just coming out of her, and she's just been like so stressed out. Her fiance died. The person that she was starting to like, Jay Garrick, turned out to be, his name wasn't really Jay Garrick, I forget his real name, but Zoom, he turned out to be a psycho killer maniac. And then also her mom has always been cold to her, which we found out in the last episode. And her dad died when she was little. So I guess, I don't know, maybe it's all those things that are just finally coming up to the light, and she's finally just starting to express her dark feelings. I don't know, but I feel like I need more explanation on why she's turning evil instead of her just turning evil. I hope they explain that on the upcoming episodes on why exactly she's turning evil. And now that I'm thinking about it, is it because of Dr. Alchemy? Because everybody that he's helped bring their powers back, the powers that they had in Flashpoint, have definitely been more on the evil side. But now that I think about it, Caitlin got her powers from the particle accelerator. So I don't know, maybe it's because of Dr. Alchemy. Hopefully they'll explain it. I'm sure they'll explain it. But that brings me to my question number 3. We saw at the end of the episode that Wally touched Dr. Alchemy's magical stone and then got wrapped into this cocoon and then was just stuck there. So we know that everybody that comes from Dr. Alchemy is more on the evil side and aren't really, hero-like. So does that mean that Wally is going to be a evil version of Kid Flash, or is he still going to be the hero version of Kid Flash? Me personally, I hope that he stays good. But honestly, I think Wally will play a really good villain. And I think it will be a really nice twist that if, he becomes like another villain of this season and him and Barry kind of go at it and Barry's trying to save him and bring him back to the good side. And then at the end of the season, he's able to bring him back to the good side and then everybody's happy and all that good stuff. I think that would be a really nice twist if, the writers and producers did that. But I don't know. What do you guys think? You think Wally's still going to be good once he comes out of that cocoon? Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, don't know, don't care, whatever. But that wraps up my top 3 questions from this episode. But first, before I go, you know I can't leave without mentioning some Westallen. Even though this episode really didn't have a lot to do with Barry and Iris at all, you know the writers of The Flash had to sprinkle a little Westallen love in there because they've been writing hard for us lately this season. And it was just so beautiful. I always say so beautiful when it comes to Westallen. Because Iris, I don't know if it's been lately, she's probably been feeling like this for a while, but she feels like everybody's getting all these powers and she's not really contributing, or she can't really help like everybody else is helping because she's not a scientist, she doesn't have powers. She feels like she can't really do much for the team, but Barry reassures her that there would be no Flash without Iris West. And I'm glad he just said it straight like that, because now there could be no confusion on how important Iris West is to Barry and to Barry being the Flash. Because without Iris West and without him having his home with her and being his lightning rod, his, centered ground, Barry wouldn't be able to do what he does. He wouldn't be able to keep himself centered and keep himself grounded. So even though this episode was mainly centered on Wally and Caitlin with Killer Frost and the big bads, Dr. Alchemy and Savitar, I'm glad that the writers gave us a little Westallen goodness and satisfied our little shipper hearts. Thank you, writers. Thank you. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more of these Flash reviews. And let me know in the comments below if you want me to review any more shows that you like. I plan on doing a lot more Netflix original series and just any other series. I watch a lot of TV, so just let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out. I'm hungry.